Hello everyone. I am Dr. Sawan Giridhar Dharmpuriwar, Associate Professor, Vidyasagar Kala Mahavidyalay, Khairi Bijewada Ramtek. Today, we are going to learn dramatic types, farce and melodrama. As we all know, tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, farce, melodrama, one-act play, dramatic monologue. All these are the dramatic types, and we are learning these dramatic types since our last lectures. So today's topic is farce and melodrama. While introducing farce, I can say that farce is a poorer or debased or exaggerated form of comedy. In the form of farce, all nonsense things, absurd situations, dialogues are presented on the stage by the dramatist. As we all know, comedy deals with the lighter side of life. Comedy deals with the happy side of life. Comedy is filled with many comic and happy and situations which creates laughter on our face has been filled in the comedy. In the same way, farce is a type of drama which is filled with many situations of happiness, many situations of joy, many situations of laughter, but those are presented on the stage by the dramatist in an exaggerated way. Means all the types of situations which are absurd, which are nonsense like things, the dialogues which are absurd, those are presented, those are used by the dramatist to create laughter on the face of the audience. In short, I can say that the main aim of farce is to provoke the hearty laughter on the face of the readers, on the face of the audience. It is just like a living caricature presented in the form of drama on the stage. And that's why I'm saying farce is a poorer or debased or exaggerated form of the comedy. Next, we can say that when we think about the background of the farce, what type of background is there in the drama? Background of the farce is purely imaginary. No doubt, the characters which are used by the dramatist to write his drama, to we can say create those settings, those are real one, but those characters are placed in purely imaginary background. It is a complete world of laughter and nonsense. It is just like a horseplay. In Marathi, we say horseplay means dhangad-dhinga, a complete dhangad-dhinga, a complete horseplay has been presented by the dramatist on the stage, and he just thinks that the people should watch it, they should enjoy it, and they should laugh roaringly, and that is the aim of the dramatist when he is going to write the farce. So what about the characters in the farce? The characters which are used by the dramatist to write the farce are free from everyday cares. They are just what we can say the common people, but they don't have any cares, any worries, any problems, any sorrows of life. They are free from everyday cares. Angry wives are there, creditors are there, the people who are running away from creditors, they are there, the husbands who are fearing their wife, the wives who are running after husbands to give them fine beating with the sticks, they are there. This all such characters have been used by dramatists to create the laughter, to create the joy in the drama, and those characters are placed by the dramatist in the imaginary background, and with the help of those characters, with the help of that purely imaginary background, he tries to create some atmosphere of joy and laughter, and he wants to create some happiness on the faces of the audience who are enjoying that particular drama. So what is the general theme of the farce? While speaking about the general theme of the farce, I can say that generally a story of a love affair, generally a theme of love affair has been used by the dramatist to write the farce. A love affair is there, and that love affair is presented by the dramatist in the form of a farce, but that love affair is not a simple one. That what we can say, it does not reach at the happy ending, but there is lot of confusion created in that love, created into that love story, and when it reaches up to its end, we find that that confusion has been solved very happily by the dramatist. When we think about the development of this particular form of drama, how it came into vogue, how it developed, it came into vogue towards the end of the 17th century. On English stage, this particular drama was started during the 17th century. It became popular during the 18th century. Duke of Buckingham's The Rehearsal is one of the finest and the foremost example of farces which were presented on the stage of England. At the same time, it was made popular by the writers like Goldsmith, writers like Sheridan, because they people have used many farcical elements into their plays. Then during 20th century also, the writers like Barry, writers like George Bernard Shaw, they people have used this particular type of what we can say form into their full length plays. They have created many scenes of laughter, many scenes of joy into their drama, and they have used many absurd situations of the characters into their plays to create such kind of laughter into their drama. So what are the finest examples of the farce? The finest examples of farce in English literature are Charlie's Aunt, written by Brandon Thomas. Then The Private Secretary, written by Charles Hawtrey. Writers like Oscar Wilde, writers like Goldsmith, writers like Sheridan also have used many farcical elements when they were writing their plays, writing their comedies. Many comedies of William Shakespeare, such as Merry Wives of Windsor, Midsummer Night's Dream, contains many farcical elements into it, which creates roaring laughter on the faces of the audience. And at the same time, this particular drama became very popular during the 18th century. So before I move on to the next topic, melodrama, I will once again take a quick recap what we have seen into the topic of farce. As I have told you that while defining this particular form, while giving the meaning of the farce, farce is nothing but the poorer or debased or exaggerated form of the comedy. And in the form of the farcical drama, in the form of farce, the writer presents all nonsense things, absurd situation, dialogues are presented on the stage in the form of the drama. And then the major aim of the writer while writing the farce is to provoke the hearty laughter on the face of the audience, or rather he presents a living caricature in the form of the drama, in the form of the farce. When we think about the background, I have told you that the background is completely imaginary one, and the characters who are free from everyday cares, the characters like angry wives, the characters like creditors, the characters like who are running away from the creditors, the husbands who are fearing their wife, the wife who are running after their husbands to give them fine beating by the stick, means all those characters, funny characters, have been used by the dramatist, and they are placed in a purely imaginary situation, and out of that a drama is created that is called as farce. Then what is the general theme? Generally, a love affair has been used as a theme, used as the plot of that particular play, but that love affair is not an easy one. That love affair when it comes to a happy ending. Before that, it has to face the lot of confusion, and that confusion creates a lot of laughter into the drama. How did it develop? When it came into vogue, it came into vogue towards the end of the 17th century. It developed, it what we can say started on English stage during the 17th century. It became very popular during the 18th century. Rehearsal, written by Duke of Buckingham, is one of the foremost example of the farce. Which are the other examples of the farce? Charlie's Aunt, written by Brandon Thomas. The Private Secretary, written by Charles Hawtrey, are the finest examples of the farces written into English. And then writers like Oscar Wilde, Goldsmith, Sheridan used farcical elements into their plays. At the same time, William Shakespeare, the greatest master of English drama, has used many farcical elements into his plays, just like into his comedies. For example, Merry Wives of Windsor, Midsummer Night's Dream contains many farcical elements into it. And then it becomes extremely popular during the 18th century. In 20th century also, writers like Barry, writers like George Bernard Shaw have used many farcical elements into their plays. So I can say that this is all about farce. Now we will move on to the next topic, that is melodrama. While introducing melodrama, I can say that as farce is the debased or poorer form of the tragedy, comedy, in the same way melodrama is the debased or poorer form of the tragedy. So when it originated into England during 18th century, and it became amazingly popular during the 19th century. And this particular drama is what we can say, when we think about the plot of this particular play, the plot is completely sorry, the plot is completely based on the themes of revenge, murder, bloodshed, and all those things. And when we think about the characters are merely puppets. They are not lifelikes. As see the characters into tragedies. They are lifelike, they are solid characters. Thus those type of solid characters are not seen into melodrama, but the characters are merely puppets. And then the plot of the melodrama is based on the revenge, evils of gambling, lost heirs, bloodshed, and all kind of violent scenes filled with the violence and murder and butchery has been presented on the stage in the form of the drama. Scenes full of cruelty, revenge, bloodshed, murder, suspense, everything that has been shown on the stage, and to create some kind of uh, feeling of fear should come on the face of the audience. And that is the main aim of the dramatist while creating or writing the melodrama. And in the end, but as usual, if you're thinking that melodrama which is filled with the scenes of cruelty, violence, murder, and all those things, and it is creating fear on the faces of the audience, but at the same time, when the drama ends, we find that in the end the virtue triumphs. Means all the evil, all the wrong things, all the, what we can say, evil doers are doing their evil deeds into the drama. Throughout the play, all those things have been presented on the stage, but at the end we find that the virtue triumphs over the evil, and melodrama ends at that particular note. Next thing that we have to learn in melodrama is scenic effect. So to create such kind of melodramatic incidents, to melodramatic feelings on the face of the audience, in the heart of the audience, what the people were doing, the dramatists were using the wonderful scenic devices, and they try to show those wonderful scenic devices to the audience when that particular drama, when that particular melodrama was being presented on the stage. So that's why I'm saying that scenic effects were very important, very necessary while presenting the melodrama on the stage. The producers were using wonderful scenic devices during those time while presenting the melodrama. And what were those scenic effects? The scenes of fire, scenes of floods, scenes of railway accidents, scenes of earthquakes, scenes of shipwrecks, scenes of natural calamities were presented with the help of the scenic effects on the stage. And the people, the audience, when they come to know that some melodrama which is containing the scenes of fire, which is containing the scenes of earthquakes, the people were got attracted to the theater, and they wanted to see all those things, how they will happen, how the earthquake will be created on the stage, how the shipwrecks will be shown on the stage. And they will, as usual, they will just, what we can say, rush to the theaters in order to see all those wonderful scenic effects. And those scenic effects were making that melodrama more effective, more powerful. And then when we think about the examples of the melodrama, the famous examples of melodrama are the Spanish tragedy written by Thomas Kidd, Duchess of Malfi written by John Webster. Before we conclude this topic, once again I will take a quick recap on the topic melodrama. As I have told you that farce is a debased or the poorer form of the comedy. In the same way, while defining melodrama, while giving the meaning of melodrama, I can say that I can use the same words. Melodrama is the debased or the poorer form of the tragedy. It originated during the 18th century and became amazingly popular during the 19th century on the stage of England. Then when we think about the character or the plot of the melodrama, I can say that characters in the melodrama are not lifelike, they are not solid, they are merely the puppets. And the plot of the play is based on the themes of revenge, themes of evil of gambling, lost heirs, bloodshed. And when we witness that particular drama on the stage, we can see that the scenes full of cruelty, scenes full of revenge, bloodshed, murder, butchery, suspense, all those violent things are presented in the form of the melodrama on the stage. But no doubt that drama is filled with many scenes of violence and cruelty and evil doers and evil things. But still, at the end, we find that the virtue triumphs over the evil. And then the major thing that makes melodrama more effective, more powerful, because of which the audience wants to see that particular drama. They come to see melodrama they come to theater to see melodrama is the wonderful scenic effects used in the melodrama. I can say that the wonderful scenic devices were presented on the stage in the form of the melodrama. And what were those scenic effects? What were those, what we can say, scenes created in the form of the melodrama? Those were the scenes of fire, scenes of floods, scenes of railway accidents, earthquakes, shipwrecks, natural calamities. Means the things which were not possible to be shown on the stage, those were shown in the form of the melodrama. And that's why the audience, the people were got attracted towards the theater, because they were quite curious to know that how we will witness, how we will watch these particular scenes on the stage. And that makes melodrama much more effective, much more powerful, and it, what we can say, it becomes the matter of attraction for the audience. And the famous examples of melodrama are the Spanish tragedy written by Thomas Head, the Duchess of Malfi written by John Webster. So I can say that this is all about the topic farce and melodrama. I hope you might have understood the topic, you might have enjoyed it. Once again, we will meet in the next lecture with some new topic. Thank you all of you.